The great songwriter Carole King used to say, "Doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore?" It was at one point a disturbing lament for some of us so many decades ago. But these days, in this economy where people sometimes change jobs as often as they change socks, people don't typically stay in one place anymore. But it does not lessen the pain of bidding farewell when we like and love and respect someone who is in fact changing jobs. And we indeed do like and love and respect our next guest, our colleague and friend, Dr. Rich Besser, ABC News medical editor who has walked the walk and talked the talk across several continents as he tried to find the truth in science and medicine and indeed improve our lives. And we are getting ready to bid you adieu this next week.
Yeah, this is it.
Why are you leaving?
You know, I'm one of these people who loves a challenge. You know, I've focused my whole life on trying to improve health here and around the globe, and there's so many ways that you can engage in trying to do that. I've loved the challenge of taking something on in a new way. So, you know, I spent most of my career at the CDC in Atlanta, the Centers for Disease Control, looking at public health in a broad way with programs.
And including being the acting head of it at one point.
The acting head at the end.
Yeah.
And then I came here to television, which for me was a crazy move. And people in public health world say, you know, what are you doing? But for me, it was the opportunity to come here and use the power of the camera, use the power of a conversation to try and improve people's health and to show them health problems they might not have thought about.
So it was never about, you know, Rich Besser being an anchorman or a doctor on television. It was not about becoming a television personality, although you became a very good one and a very powerful one and a powerful voice for all that you did.
And that was fun. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
But that wasn't the goal.
No. No, I never as a kid thought, wow, I want to be a TV doctor. For me, it was, is it possible to practice public health in front of a camera? Can you have an impact on people's lives through answering their questions on the 4 o'clock news?
And you did do that for many years, and we appreciate that. Did you do that? Could you do that? Did you find that that was one of the goals that were met?
I love doing it, but I'm a scientist, and I would love to know, did it work? Did it change what people do? Or was it just an entertaining and interesting few minutes of television?
Well, there's probably the answer to that is yes. Yeah. It was both of those. Yeah. And certainly, you know, from the responses we got on social media and from emails and everything else, people liked your honest approach. Yeah. You know, tell me the truth, Dr. Besser. Yeah. And your approach to health, which was sort of, you know, there is a mixture, an interesting mixture that is Rich Besser, that you have to take control of your own destiny to some degree, and yet we as a society also have responsibility to all Americans.
So now I want to take what I've learned here in terms of communicating and talking and motivating and inspiring and take it to the world of public health philanthropy. So I'm going to the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. It's
based here.
It's based in Princeton, New Jersey, so not far from here. That's the town I grew up in. I went to Princeton High School. My parents still live there.
There's some kismet here.
Then, it's really pretty incredible. But it's the nation's largest philanthropy focused on health, improving health and health care for people in America.
And by nation's largest, if the research is accurate, $10 billion is what their endowment is, right? Yeah. Started by Woody Johnson's grandfather.
That's right. That's right. So he was
the coach of the owner of the Jets.
Yeah, he was the head of Johnson & Johnson, and he believed strongly that corporations had a responsibility to their community, to their employers, to their customers. And so when he died, he left all of his stock. You know, he had some trust set up, but he left $1 billion in J&J stock to start the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. It's now worth $10 billion. Over the course of the life of the foundation, they've given away over $10 billion, and it's still at the same level. So the goal is to exist forever and give away
the interest,
which each year is over $400 million.
You know, that's real money.
That's real money. So I want to see what I can do in that role to try and help improve health in this country.
Let's get in the weeds of that a little bit. What does that mean, try to improve the health of Americans? And how do you do that with $450 million a year? Because when you talk about health care in general, we're talking about billions of dollars.
Well, I think, you know, when you look at what the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation is trying to do, they talk about building a culture of health. And what that idea is that health isn't just something that takes place between you and your doctor. Health occurs through what takes place where you work, where you live, where your children learn, and where they play. And so it's about trying to ensure that all of those things are contributing to the health of people here. Do people, I've been working for 7 years in a clinic up in Harlem. And I talk to my patients about, well, exercise, eat right, all the stuff I do on the air here. Well, what if there's no access to fresh fruits and vegetables, or the streets aren't safe for your kid to go outside and play?
That exists.
That
in
exists.
this city and in a lot of big cities.
Exactly. And those things are critically important to health. And so as a foundation, what we're trying to do is broaden the people who are engaged in the conversation around health and work to create a country in which your opportunity to be healthy doesn't depend on your income, where you're born, what you look like, what you believe. It's something that everyone has an equal opportunity, a fair opportunity to be healthy.
But how will you, as the head of the foundation, affect people not being able to afford more expensive fruits and vegetables, so that's more expensive than potatoes or pasta? And how can you do it? How can you, as the head of that foundation, affect that?
Well,
you're talking about huge social
I have a lot
change.
to learn. I start next week, and I have a lot to learn about what's going on, but some is done through the programs that we fund. So there's a lot of focus on childhood obesity, for example. The foundation's pledged $1 billion over a 10-year period. That's real money.
So does that mean giving people food money?
No.
So
what that's doing is a lot of that money is working in the schools and teaching children, putting in programs around physical activity, physical fitness, putting programs in to make sure school lunches are healthy, getting at that component of the live, learn, work, play piece of it. It's funding research to see what can you do to stimulate the access to those things. How do you get fresh fruits and vegetables into the corner store? In the bodega.
A lot of people buy their groceries at the bodega, which does not necessarily have the kind of healthy food.
So how do you make sure that fresh fruits and vegetables are what they see when they walk in, rather than walking in and seeing things that aren't so healthy?
And if we can reduce the rate of childhood obesity, what's the domino effect for society?
It's major. When you look at the impact of obesity in terms of so many things, in terms of our healthcare bills, obesity is a risk factor for diabetes, for heart disease, for all kinds of chronic joint problems. Then you're seeing if you can reduce childhood obesity, then you're reducing adult obesity. You have to start early. We know that once someone is significantly overweight or obese, it's very hard to undo that. It's about prevention.
I know that you're big on access to information, access to knowledge, but also access to good health care.
Yes.
We came this close to having 20 million people who have health care not have health care. But the debate is not over. And it is, as you well know, and as some people are learning, it's very complicated.
Yeah, it is.
And how do you go about it? And what can you do in that new position?
Well, as a philanthropy, we can't lobby. So when a bill is introduced, we can't take up a position on a bill. But we do have principles around healthcare, and we believe very strongly that everyone needs access to high-quality, comprehensive, affordable healthcare. We know that if you have that, you're going to see your doctor earlier, you're going to have things picked up sooner, you're going to have someone who's talking to you about physical activity and nutrition and these things, and that's critically important. Everyone should have that.
You didn't want to go and be a star on television, but you became one, and you became very approachable. I think people liked you on TV.
Yeah.
You took the place of Dr. Timothy Johnson, who was a legend here.
He was terrific.
And now you've been here for 8 years. Do you think that you would have gotten this job had you not been such a well-known personality? Did that help?
I don't think I would have gotten the job. And what I talk to them about, I've never worked at a foundation, let alone run one. So what I talk to them about is that one of the things the foundation wants to do is create a shared vision for health. What does it mean to be healthy? What does it take to be healthy? And that's where I think what I've learned here can have an impact. I can look at how are we trying to engage people in that conversation? Are we engaging with media? What can we do to use these platforms in a way that motivates people? And that's very important.
Will you engage us?
I hope so.
In your new position?
I hope so. I want to look for ways to have these kind of conversations about health and what it means to be healthy. We want healthy decisions to be the default, to be easy. not something that's really difficult for people to do because of circumstances outside their control.
You are a life force, and you have become a friend to so many of us, and to our viewers most importantly, and I thank you, and we expect, as always, great things from you.
Well, thank you. It's been a real pleasure and a privilege to work with everyone here at WABC.
We like, love, and respect you, Dr. Besser.
It's mutual.
Thank you very much.